Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Minecraft Bedrock Survival. Now, a couple of episodes ago I mentioned that I wanted to build a spider farm so that we could get more wool, because of course we can use the string from the spiders to make more wool. In fact, we got some here and I'll just demonstrate what you need for that. Yeah, we have a little bit of wool there, sorry, a little bit of string. So all you need is 4 string and you can get a wool from it. So let's just pop those back. We already have our wool farm that we built a little while ago. However, I would like to have extra sources, plus as well the string is handy for redstone contraptions as well, and also for bowstrings, so that we can actually build some of our redstone blocks. I can't remember if it's the dropper or the dispenser that needs it, but either way, whichever one of those needs string in it as well. So what we're going to do today is we are going to have a look at a cross section that I've built, and then we are going to have a look at the actual spawner itself, because I've actually already gone ahead and made it. So we head over here to the redstone testing warehouse and you'll see this big monstrosity here on the outside area, and we'll just swoop in here and we will take a look at this, which is a model of a spider farm. So let's just hop up here. You can see I've marked off everything so that we can count all the blocks, and you can visually see, fall in the water. So let's just hop over here. So I'm using the diamond block, which is representing the spawner itself. To find the spawner, you're just going to have to dig. There are loads of different types of spawners, and in case of dig through the tunnels, we have the advantage of us. We have our massive mining face that you see here. Now this hole here for me goes on for thousands and thousands of blocks. And this mining face here is where we get all our resources and all of our diamonds for our tools. We have absolutely mountains of diamonds from this shaft. This is, it goes on for thousands of blocks. And along here, as I've been digging, you can find all the spawners, because you can hear the creatures in the background as you're digging. So it's a case of you just have to do the work to dig out a shaft, and eventually, or if you go caving, you will find a spawner. But anyway, going back to our model here. So you can see here we have the main chamber is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tall, and then this block here, these represent what are going to be the ceiling and the floor. And you can see where the diamond block is, just in there, that spawner there. And you can see from there you want to go 2 blocks down, and then your floor, you want 4 more back here going to the back wall. So let's now hop back up here and we'll take a little bit more of a closer look inside. I should have really brought some water with us, and then we could have got rid of this so we could actually walk around. We'll get rid of that in a moment there. So let's have a look in here then. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in our space here, and we have 2 blocks above and 2 blocks below the spawner. And I've put some, most people just put a single slab to prevent any mobs from spawning above. I've just filled it all the way to the top just to guarantee nothing will spawn, because spiders I find are a little bit awkward because they are quite large, and that also led to some problems with the design, because I did have a little look online to have a look at some designs, and I thought I'd found one that worked on Bedrock, because the fella who was describing it kept on referring to the Bedrock edition all the way through it. However, when I put his into practice on the actual real one, it didn't work, so I had to go into a testing world and come up with this sort of design here. So let's have another better look here. So this here, just to mark off this center block, which is directly below the spawner, and then you want to come 2 out and then let it drop down 1 block, and that is so that the water can flow and then flow over. And then we have 4 more blocks on this level, and then we allow it then to drop down by 1 once again. And in order to prevent this water here from flowing in, we have signs. Now, to place these signs, we simply want to place a sign at one end, and we want to keep coming back. So what I can do is I can get rid of this sign at the bottom, and I'll put them in so I can show you what we mean. And if we can gather up these before they go. We have to fight the water pressure here when we're doing this. So you see here, the water here has now overflowed this area. Actually, I'm thinking of that, it may actually work better like that, but never mind. And what we're going to do is simply come on here and just keep clicking. And we'll come back over here a smidge and fight against the water. And just a couple more to put in. And then there's just one more. And there we go, and that's that separate. So as I said, you have the next level, you come down, you have 4, then you come down again, and we have 2. Now, we've had the width of this, which is 9 across. The chamber should be 9 across. So you've got your spawner there, and you come out by 4 on either side. And then when you come down to this final 2 layer, you want to go out by 1 more block, and these are going to be 2 water source blocks that you put here, and that just flows everything down here. All the spiders will get pushed down here. Now yes, this does create 1 dead block here, but because of the size of the spiders, and the spider spawner produces quite a lot of spiders, they will generally push themselves past it if they do get stuck here, and then they will come over to this area here. And what happens is here, I am crouching because we have magma blocks. And we have here a chamber set up with signs on either side so the water can sit above. So the spiders will flow across, they will come across here, and then they will fall through the water, land on here, and you have the option underneath of taking a few swipes at them with the sword, and as well of just leaving them just to simply die on the magma blocks. So let's go underneath now, if we can fight our way past the water. So let's up out of there. Yep, there we go. So underneath here, you see there's the magma blocks, and what I've done is, so to save on redstone clocks and any sort of timing, we have included 6 hopper minecarts, which are all sitting on a rail, which then sits on a hopper, and that means anything that lands on top will get vacuumed through the block and will then get put straight into the hopper. You could have a system where it runs around. There is spider farms which, instead of having this water system, they simply have a massive space underneath, and the spiders would just land on a whole plate of the magma blocks. But I decided I just wanted to focus them all at one spot because I wanted to be able to get XP as well if I wanted to. You don't get that much XP, but you do only have to tap them once with your sword. And then once they die on the magma block, you'll then get the XP. So it's handy just for a little bit of XP, and then of course all the items that they drop will then flow through and drop down into there. So let's have a little bit of a wider sort of look at that there, so you can count the number of blocks. I will of course put some better pictures of this up on my website. I will say as well there that water is 1 complete row. In fact, do I have any water buckets handy? If we just nip inside, yes I do. Let's just take 2 of them, and what we'll do is I will quickly show you how to put the water in so that you actually only need 2 water buckets. I would recommend as well building an infinite water source nearby. Right, so let's hop out here, and we will just get rid of all those water source blocks like that. And then we will then mine these up. Careful not to smash the glass because I haven't got any glass handy. So there you go, that's a lot easier as well there. So yeah, I'll let you just take a quick look at that there, and you can see the chamber that we have here, and you can see the number of blocks. So this one here, which is going to be where you're collecting, is the longer section. So let's see, from the spawner, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you have a wall going down. One thing I will say as well, when you're building these, you have to be within 16 blocks of the spawner, otherwise they won't spawn, which is why I built our platform directly underneath. So you see some designs where they take them across and they ferry them off down to the side. I wanted to build it so it was more or less underneath, just to maintain your distance from the spawner. Anyway, going back to the water. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a series of infinite water sources which are going to fill this area. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put one there, then I'm going to miss a block and put one there. Then I can go back to this block, take some more water, and then we're just going to keep on repeating that sort of cycle going all the way along. So we'll put one there, we'll fight against the current, we'll pop that there, then we'll come back across, go 2, come back across, again, and one more, and there we go. And that is how we put in the water source blocks there. And of course anything that spawns, anything that you drop as well, is just going to float down. The items of course will slowly go down, and then we should be able to pick up that bucket from downstairs. So let's just fight our way out here again. See that golem there's on duty protecting our villager prison. So let's hop over here. And there is our bucket. So, okay, so that is the basic cutaway design that you can see here. You can see how many blocks there are needed. Everything is all grid marked off. I'll put some better pictures of that as well on my website so that you can have them to follow along in your world. And as I said, this works in Bedrock Edition. So you're pretty much 100% guaranteed that it'll work in Java as well, because we, of course, here are playing Bedrock Edition. So now, though, we will head over to the actual spider farm itself, where it is actually implemented. We'll just zoom over here. Fly through the Stargate, and our spider spawner is just next to our super tower. Now you see that little cross there on the ground, that represents where it was, so I knew where to dig down. And I put a little doorway underneath the hill here, and let's just hop down, because this one is right at the bottom, virtually almost at bedrock layer. I think it's down in the 15-ishes. Actually, no, I'm down at number layer 7. So you see there's the spiders. To prevent spawning, because this area is actually dark, we'll just have to wait for the night vision to wear off. I've carpeted it just to make sure that nothing would get here. And you see there's some spiders doing their little dance on top of there. And let's see, I should say as well, I have made this entire section out of solid glass, just simply so that I can illustrate to you and you can see the actual thing working. So there's our actual spawner. And you see there, you can hear them there, they're all dying on the magma blocks. So they get down there, and there's another couple. Once it gets going, there's quite a lot there that are going to start falling through. Let's see if we can see any more spawning. Let me see if I step over here, we'll maybe see a bit wider. There's another 3, so it seems to be like 3 at a time with the spiders, doesn't it? And there we go, they're floating down, going into the water flow, and then they'll come down here. And we have a chest here, except I've added an extra feature on mine, because of course everything goes through to our central storage. So you'll see here there's a line of hoppers, and these head back to our one of the interchanges for all of the farms, so everything all eventually gathers up and goes into there where it's all going. Except I've put an extra switch down here, and that locks this hopper here, so it means anything that comes through will go into that chest. So it wasn't got anything off that one. I'll show you as well, if we can get them to stop from jumping. We can tap them with our sword, and we can get some XP off them. There we go, any more coming? But yeah, see if there's anything. Yep, so just by killing those couple there, we've got a couple of string and a couple of the spider eye things there. Let's just flick that back over so that we can send everything down to storage. And I'll just come out here for a moment. And this area here is just a cave where I found it. And I'll tell you what, we will take this out here. And you can see there, they're all fighting to get themselves down that hole there. So the water flows are a little bit awkward. At the minute though, he's trying to get up to me here rather than getting to me down there, which is probably why they're all trying to fight to get back. There's another one there. You see there as well, I've put the 2 blocks above, and then you've got the 2 empty air blocks below. I see here you get quite the stream of spiders. I think the spider spawners, at least in my observations, are probably some of the most the spawners that spawn the most. So you see even more coming down. Let's just plug this gap now. So that's that one there. So you can see now I can, well, I left this torch on here because obviously a spawner needs to be as dark as possible. I left that torch there just so that we could see what we were doing here. But you see now all the spiders are all starting to come down. We get a little bit of XP. So yeah, so that's pretty much it though. That's the spider spawner. As I said, I will put some better pictures online. We will head back over now to the cross section one there, where it's a lot easier to see the spider spawner. If we can just get up there, then we're out. And oops, night time now. Just zoom over here. You can see that that monstrosity in the background, which is the spider spawner. Mock-up anyway. So yeah, there we go. It's a right nice simple design once you find your spider spawner. So this fella's coming obviously to investigate it here. So yeah, so you can see there it doesn't require that much resources, mainly just a hollowing out. But be very careful when you're working with the spawner. When you discover your spawner and you want to work around it without getting loads of spiders spawning you, you want to put a torch directly on either side of it. And I would recommend as well, so that you don't accidentally destroy it, when you take out those torches, you take them out from the side. Make sure you don't have any tools in your hand, just to make sure that you don't accidentally break it, because once you break it, that's it, it's game over. You've got to go and find another spawner. Which is really annoying, because when I first started playing this world and actually started playing like Minecraft properly, because I'd only played on Java Creative for years prior to starting this world, this was my first survival, and I accidentally destroyed, because I thought, oh, I'll never need spiders. And this farm over here, where the zombie spawner is, was actually a zombie and spider spawner that were directly next to each other. So we could have had loads of spawns in there. But unfortunately, I destroyed it without even thinking, and that was it. So there we go. That is the. If we land on the roof here, probably get a better view. There we go, and that is it. That is our spider farm, the mock-up anyway. As I said, I'll put some better pictures of this online so you can see them there and have a look at it yourself. You don't need that much in the way of resources. You will have to make a trip to the Nether to get some magma blocks, and you will need. You could have a rail where it pushes them one minecart around, but I decided just to go with getting 6 hopper minecarts, sit them on tracks, and then. The hoppers underneath to draw everything into that box there. Ooh, I'll take them. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed that. So don't forget to rate, comment, favourite and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.